The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to create a standalone runner that can run as a separate application. I'm just going to create a new class, and I'm going to call this console runner. And what we're going to do is we're just going to add a main entry point. So we're going to do public static void main, and then we'll do string arg array. And this is just a Java application at this point that has an entry point. We can run this. If we just do run as Java application, you can see it runs. It doesn't do anything at this point. But we can add a runner to this. So we can use JUnit core. We'll make a variable called JUnit. We'll set this equal to new JUnit core. And import these. And what this does is this gives us a runner that we can run tests with. Now we could just say run and then pass in some tests. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do JUnit dot add listener, and we're going to do a new text listener and pass in system.out. And the reason why we're going to do this is because if we just run the tests using this runner, by default it's not going to output anything. But by adding this listener, it's going to put out the output to system.out, so we'll see it down here. Or if we ran it from the command line, we would see it displayed on the console. Now we can just call JUnit run, and we can pass in whatever classes we want. Let's do our tracking service tests.class. And now if we run this, just right click and run as Java application, you can see it's giving us the output. We're getting our before and after class stuff that we had put in our before and after in our test. But you can also see that we get a failure. It tells us where that failure was, why it failed, and then we can actually click on these to go to the actual lines of code. And then at the end we have a summary. There's been some failures, 5 tests were run, 1 failed. So this is actually somewhat of an easier way to get results from your runs. If you don't like the built-in runner, you can always run like this, and I know that a lot of developers prefer to just see this in the console, so they'll set up a runner like this and then they'll be able to view it right here, see the stack trace, and click on anything in the stack trace to get to that code immediately. But you could also just take what we have here, now that we have this runner, and you could just run this. If you compile this as a Java application, you could just execute this directly from a jar, or you could compile it as an exe and run this, and it would run the tests as well.